Beloved hearts of love, it is I, Mother Akasha, who greets you through my messenger this day. And I am truly grateful that I and others of the Ascended Host are given this opportunity during these times to come and be with you, reminding you that every Tuesday and Friday, these special broadcasts will continue. Not only do I greet all of the students of the Radiant Rose Academy, I greet too those beloved hearts of other spiritual paths, those who participate in the Academy YouTube channel and often tune in to listen to these special broadcasts. To each of you, I offer my heart's love. Today, there are many who live in the world consciousness of duality, where a belief in two powers of good and evil are fostered upon their consciousness, and many of those are losing their physical bodies at this time. Yet for many years, there are those citizens in the world who are embracing various spiritual paths that do offer a way to live in a higher consciousness, where the appearances of the outer world no longer touch them. This higher consciousness comes from the consciousness of the tree of life, fostered upon the people of the earth is a belief in the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And it is out of that consciousness, being that each of you are creator beings, that you create in accordance to your state of consciousness, and thus you experience what you believe or what you know. And so, in these days, you have a world consciousness of duality, and yet there is a higher consciousness of polarity. Polarity of light and love. As one embraces this higher consciousness, which sometimes has been referred to as the Christ consciousness, the realization is that Christ is not a man. Christ is a state of consciousness. And of course, our beloved Master Jesus attained that Christ consciousness and became the Christ to the world, the first. And yet, it is the destiny of every person to keep evolving themselves. Everyone has the opportunity to evolve, the ability to grow, the ability to become more. Jesus spoke and referred to a future time when there would be those who come after him. They too would develop the higher consciousness, the Christ consciousness. And as much as that is recorded in the Bible, it is not recorded that Jesus referred to these ones who were doing everything to live in the higher consciousness of light, of love. He referred to these ones as the untouchables because he knew that nothing in the lower world of subhuman appearances touches the lives of those who live in the higher Christ consciousness. And so I would like to remind each of you that inherent within every person is the ability to grow, to evolve, and to become more. The pathway is always through the heart. Unknown to most people is a tiny electron hidden deep within the physical heart. And through the desire side of life, when one's desires are wholly constructive, it is the desire side of life that fans that super electron hidden within the heart and fans it until it evolves into an eternal living flame of creation, one's own heart flame. And it is then from that inner flame within your physical heart that flame, under your desire, under your command, has the ability to project rays of light and love. Light and love that registers only perfection. Remember, precious hearts, that the act of receiving is always preceded by acts of giving. What each person can give each day in communing with their own heart, acknowledging and accepting their own eternal flame of love within their heart. That flame comes under your command. And again and again and again, many times a day. You can pour your love to your own heart flame of creation. Bless your Creator for this mighty flame from whence it comes. And call upon your eternal love flame to expand and release mighty rays of light and love that register perfection into your mind, your body, your feeling side of life, and out into your world. Thus begins the great perfecting activity to evolve, to grow, to expand the nature of your own divinity. And thus, you begin to live above the outer consciousness of duality. And the more each of you connect with your own inner heart flame, the more each of you, through your studies, realize that long hidden from the world, there is an even greater truth that abides within each of you. It is not in your body. It is in the inner chambers of your inner consciousness. A place that is sacred, a place that is holy. A place for abiding in each of you is your true holy self, a grand cosmic being that you have hidden from the world, waiting that right moment for you through meditation to connect with your own inner divinity, with the recognition that this inner God self is actually the individualization of Mother, Father, God, of God, Goddess, all that is. That this is the whole self of each of you. And realizing the opportunity you have now. Knowing that through the inner silence of meditation comes your opportunity to connect daily with this sacred God self, your true divinity. To make yourself an open door, welcoming the perfection of that great God divinity to rise more and more through the flame in your heart, through the flame of your own inner God presence. As you make contact with these mighty activities within your own self, then more and more of the old consciousness of duality fades away, melts away, and the greater consciousness of light, of love, of life rises in each of you. I would encourage you, precious hearts, that when you enter into your meditations and commune with your inner God self, that you would, just prior to entering the silence, that you would invite the full activity of God, the full activity of Christ consciousness, to enter more and more into your mind and your daily consciousness that you use each day. Welcome and welcome and welcome the full activity of God, the full activity of Christ consciousness, to enter your minds and the daily consciousness that you use each day. And then, precious hearts, as each of you affirm that you no longer have any value in the experience of fear, that your own inner God consciousness, your own inner heart flame, and your higher self that is known as the I Am God presence, as you turn and turn and turn your attention to these three mighty sources, you will find that whatever is left of the lower consciousness of duality, the belief in good and evil, and the fear that feeds it, will just melt away. Take comfort that you have found your true divine whole self that has always abided in the inner chambers of your consciousness. And recognize that meditation is the link between your inner God nature and the outer world. Today, there is what no longer can be delayed or prevented, nor should it be, is the rise of the divine feminine consciousness that now comes to balance within the people the divine masculine presence. Only as these two states of consciousness, recognizing the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and desiring within your minds, within your lives, the perfect balance of these two polar activities of life be made real within yourself, your life. Out of the various world crises that are upon your earth at this time, we in the ascended realms, as we look into the all-seeing eye of God, we are comforted in knowing that humanity does evolve, will evolve, and a new civilization born of the polarity of light and love will emerge in the consciousness of the people. The flame of freedom shall rise in each of you. As I spoke in my Tree of Life class recently, I spoke regarding the many seniors and others where this virus has touched their lives, who are often left alone to seemingly die with this virus, whether they be in hospitals who are no longer allowing visitors, or senior care homes. And the loss of these beloved seniors, their lives, and the loss of loved ones, and their ability to comfort parents, grandparents, and too often those who are left alone as life leaves their body. I urge you to call out to the great Archangel Raphael. He has already begun to provide this service, yet more he can do if he will receive a request from you, a prayer, a call, that Archangel Raphael, who has many legions of angels who serve him, that he would send an angel to be at the bedside of those who are losing their life, their physical life, to this virus. The tragedy that many of them are alone, as care homes and hospitals cannot even allow those who love their parents or grandparents, seniors, have any visitation. this is where the angels can step in. And if you would call out to Archangel Raphael, to everyone who is left alone in a senior's care home, in a hospital, and those of other ages too, where due to what is going on in their bodies, those homes and hospitals cannot allow visitors. And if life leaves their body, they seem to be leaving alone. This need not be. And so I urge you to call out to Archangel Raphael, for he has already begun this work, to send an angel to everyone who seems to be alone, who seems to be losing their physical life. And know that that angel can appear in a way that the person, and only the person where life is failing them, can see and feel that angel's presence that has come to love them, to help them. I encourage you to reach out to Archangel Raphael. Remember, precious hearts, that you all have embedded within you the acts and principles of creation, that you are creator beings, and that you love to affirm, to remind yourselves that you live above this world of duality and the terrible appearances of this world, that you affirm that you are a being of light and love, that you affirm those sacred words, I am a being of cause alone, and that cause love, the sacred tongue. Seek not these words as an affirmation. Rather, resolve within yourself that those words, that they are your truth, that you are living by. And I would urge you to for the daily use of Jesus' statement, affirming perhaps in this way: the mystical I within me, the greater I, the inner I within me, is the resurrection and the life. An open door into the light of God that never fails, and the love of God that always fulfills. Take time. You know yourselves. Comfort each other. Pour your love to each other. And know it is your time to live above the current world consciousness of duality and the great harm it has caused and is causing amongst the people of Earth. Know, too, that even though the mass consciousness of the people may not be awakening, spiritually awakening in the way that you are. Yet I encourage you to recognize that amongst the vast majority of the people of Earth are good people, constructive people, people who are doing their best. And yet it is difficult, even when one is good, seeks to be good and constructive, if within their own consciousness is the belief in good and evil as reality, a reality that tragically is fed by fear. That you, beloved hearts, in recognition that there are the mass of the people who may not be awakening the way you are, who may not be on spiritual paths the way you are. They may be religious or irreligious. But to you, it matters not. That you know the truth of every person, regardless of whether they know the truth or accept it. That each and every person is a divine citizen of our universe. And if you and the many of you will know in your hearts that they too, in the mass of the people, the abiding deep within them is their own sacred God self. Let us see how many individual people who silently and adoringly love to recognize the true divine nature of every person. And to you, it matters not whether they are expressing that divinity. You know of their divinity, whether it is silent or active. Remember, precious hearts, that every day is an opportunity to choose again. Remember, all that you are choosing today becomes your future reality. And the greatest place for you to begin changing realities is first within your consciousness. Remember the truth. All that I can conceive, I can achieve. And all that I feel, I make real. These are mighty statements of truth. Perhaps it is a healthy activity to take 10 minutes each day and to contemplate all that you are choosing in your mind, your feelings, your body, and your world. And it can be as simple confirmations of choice that become your resolve years and years ago my twin flame, beloved Son, encouraged each of you to start with the choice, I choose peace. I choose peace, to be at peace with myself. I choose to be at peace with others. I choose peace as a state of consciousness that is all compelling and encompassing. For it is that choice for peace that opens the way for even greater choices to be made and lived and experienced. I would remind you of something else that beloved Son invited each of you to affirm, to confirm, to resolve, to remind yourself. I say yes to life. Life in all its divine polarity. I say yes to life, the source of light and love. And life says yes to me in all its victory. An affirmation, a confirmation, or what each of you can tell yourselves, this is my truth. And all that becomes your truth from deep within your feeling side of life. Welcome mighty sheer waves of determination from your own feeling side of life in every wonderful choice that you are making. I choose peace. I say yes to life. That you inwardly desire that mighty waves of determination rise from your own feeling side of life and to make that mighty choice a reality that you experience in your life and in your world. Life, universal life, is a state of divine intelligence, love, of omnipresence and omnipotence. The universe does listen. And when you flatly say no to the duality consciousness that is in the world, and yes to the higher consciousness of light and love, in your declaration, I say yes to life. Life will answer each of you, and life will provide each of you of what is most required in this and every next moment of your life. Remember, dear hearts, that in every moment that you rise from the sleep, that you lift your bodies up out of your bed, that perhaps too you could acknowledge that as the physical sun rises in the east, so too you rise each day, acknowledging an inner sun's presence within yourself that rises and greets the rise of the physical sun each day in the world. For as many of you have discovered, within your physical sun, there is a dimensional reality where mighty beings such as beloved Helios and Mother Vesta, brothers of the golden robes, sisters of the rose and robes, abide in the physical sun. And so as you would love to acknowledge that as you rise each day in the morning and you acknowledge the rise of the physical sun in the east, and so too you acknowledge the rising of a golden sun's presence within yourself. As you acknowledge this, then the growing, evolving sun's presence within you will connect with the great golden light of the physical sun. And this too will assist you. I thank you for allowing me to have these precious moments. And if you so choose to turn your attention to I, Akasha, and the great ascended family of light, to turn your attention to great cosmic beings such as Lord Melchizedek and the Queen of Light, or the Goddess of Venus, Almighty Victory, the great Avatar, and lift your arms to each and just say to them, I love you. I know that you seek to come closer to the people of Earth. I recognize you. I accept your ascended realities. And I ask you and your beloved angels to fill me with light, the great shadowless light, and make me a great vessel of light to the world. I thank you, beloved hearts of love. Namaste. 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 Adonai.